So when you got the case and you knew what he was being charged with, crushing a toddler, sounds horrific, some of the details, that the police have mentioned, it sounds very alarming. What were your thoughts? What did you see in the case that made you take it?
It was the science. Everything was about the science. The police officer didn't even take an arrest warrant until after the medical examiner issued her report. The police officer testified on the stand that until the ME's report came out, she didn't have enough probable cause to make an arrest. So everything was about the science. I knew a very good retired medical examiner. He was the state's medical examiner for 18, 20 years. And I had him look at it, and he said that Dr. Terry was wrong. And I still believe to this date Dr. Terry was wrong, and that brain injury pre-existed the date of death and wasn't caused by the death. And with that as a fact, the state's cause of death is wrong.
Now, in every case, you have both sides.
Yes.
You have your medical experts for the defense as well as for the state. But in this particular case, the difference of opinion is very stark. Why is that?
I'm not sure. Dr. Terry's got a very good reputation. I don't take anything from her. But we used their evidence. We used their slides from the autopsy to show that the brain injury pre-existed the date of death. They never even used their own evidence. We used their evidence to show that they were wrong. So,
walk me through that when you mentioned the slides before.
During an autopsy, a medical examiner takes numerous slides. Numerous slides. Some of them they keep for reference to show what they want to show. Some require further testing. A lot of different things. So Dr. Terry did what she was supposed to do. Dr. Sperry, our expert, even commented on how well her write-up was in her report, and from her report could tell that she was off on the cause of death. So he wrote his report based on that. When he got the slides, everything absolutely agreed with his opinion. He was correct. Their slides, without doubt, show a pre-existing brain injury. And the way the brain injury was, that brain injury had to occur a minimum of 10 to 2 weeks prior to death, up to birth. So somewhere in that time. The mom had serious hypertension during birth, which causes the same exact injury listed in the indictment, in which the state's medical examiner said occurred on the day of death. So that could have happened. A fall, the child had a very serious head injury that was weeks old on his head. It was evident. And that could have caused this injury. There's a number of things that could have caused that injury.
So why do you think why did the jury believe Dr. Terry?
The jury said, when we spoke to them after, that one thing that all the experts agreed to is the child had been abused. The child had some broken ribs, and the only way any doctor could opine that it occurred would have been abuse. Without knowing who did it, and him being the only adult there that day, they just determined he did it. Without evidence, without sufficient evidence, in light of contradictory evidence, a child was dead and they wanted to blame somebody, and they blamed him. Clear evidence existed that Dr. Terry's analysis of the brain damage was incorrect, that brain damage pre-existed the date of death, which was January 25th, 2014. And if Dr. Sperry was correct on that, then about the only way the child could have died would have been from a seizure. And evidence of a seizure was there. There was some consistent with that.